Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to do the fold and bind off section for both the body hem and the sleeve cuff. So here is before, and then here is kind of that after. It's still plenty stretchy, and the inside looks nice and clean. And there's two main ways to kind of do this, so I'm going to try and show you both of those. But mainly we're going to be taking a stitch from our kind of live needles and knitting each stitch together with a corresponding stitch along this inside edge. So the first way that you can do this is just kind of like picking up a stitch from the inside as you go and as you're kind of casting these ones off as well. And the other way to do it, if I grab my needle here, is to go around with a second needle that's smaller on a long cable and pre-pick up the stitches. And you want to make sure you just get one leg of that stitch. So you're kind of going around here. It's really easy on the knits to see kind of this row with the purl bumps. And you'll want to just grab that same purl bump from the purl columns as well. Sorry, it's hard to do this on camera. So kind of right there. So you kind of go around and pick those up. And again, I'd recommend just using a smaller needle, and you can do that first. So that's option one, and then I'll show you option two. Okay, so the option two, we're at beginning of round, we're gonna remove our beginning of round marker. Now I have my first stitch is a knit stitch, so I'm gonna go on the inside of my work on the wrong side and kind of just fold it and see. So the knit stitch, it's a purl stitch on the back side. So I'm going to take that purl stitch, I'm going to follow it down all the way, and that means I'm picking up this stitch right there with my right needle. I'm just trying to make sure you guys can see that. Okay, so we're going to pick this up. We're going to put it onto our left-hand needle, and we're going to knit it together. Okay, now we're going to do that again. So we've got a purl stitch. We're going to flip to the back side. We see that it's a knit column. We're going to go all the way down and find that next corresponding knit stitch purl bump, which is right here. We're going to put that on, and then we're going to knit those two together. And now instead of just other bind offs will just have you take this stitch and pull it over and off. We're not going to do that. We are going to slip our left-hand needle through, and then we're going to actually knit them together through the back loop. And so doing it this way, that's what gives you, it's a little finicky, but that's what gives you that extra stretch. And just make sure when you're doing this that you're not pulling anything too tight, just kind of keep it nice and loose. Okay, so now we've got another knit stitch. We're going to go down. It's a purl column on the inside. We're going to just pick up that purl bump right here, put it on the needle, knit those together, and now insert our needle and purl those together. And so you kind of just repeat that all the way around. If you prefer to go around and pick up all your stitches beforehand, then you're just doing the same thing where you would be taking that stitch. So say you'd have, let me grab a needle really quick. Okay, so I just put the next couple stitches on a spare needle here to show you what it would look like if you did it the other way. So now I would just want to take this stitch off the needle onto this one, knit them together. Oh, and you can kind of see them. It's a little finicky with that extra needle in the back. And then we would knit these two together. I kind of prefer picking up as I go, but there's pros and cons to it because you can end up where your stitches can get twisted or where you accidentally, skip a stitch So it is also sometimes nice to just kind of go in and pick up all your stitches beforehand, count them, and make sure that it all lines up evenly. But that's how I do the bind and fold off as you go. So I made it all the way around to the very last stitch, and then what I'm going to do here is actually just kind of pull this stitch through. I'm going to give kind of like a little tail on my yarn, and then I'm going to cut it. Ah, terrifying. Okay, so then I'm going to put my yarn through a little darning needle, and I'll just loop it through, pull it tight, and then you can just weave it in however you want. If you want it to look a little bit more seamless, then I would just go through the legs of that stitch. See, pull it through like there. We're gonna go back in, down through that guy. I know, very official terminology here saying that guy. No, it's inside, so I'm not going to worry about it being perfect, but then what I'll do is I'll just kind of weave this tail in through this back side of that, and then that is the finished fold. Yeah, ends up, it's perfectly stretchy, nice and clean, and just ends up giving it a really nice finish edge. So thanks for watching.